Hey everybody, it's Ashley here. I just wanted to give you a quick update on my summoner Yuna cosplay. This one. I started her around 2 months ago, and today I thought, after I finished sewing on the last little bit onto the bow of the obi, I thought I was finished. Turns out I'm not. The obi, the bow, has all been prettily done and the pop stud got sewn on it, only to find out the back needs painted. So I'm going to have to either dismantle this back piece and paint it, or leave it as it is. I'm going to have to dismantle it, unfortunately, which sucks because I just got it looking so pretty. Do you like my bow tie? Anyway, apart from that and a few little painting bits on my dangly hibiscus flower beads, I managed to say it right. Took me a long while to think, how do you say that? Anyway, apart from that, I think I'm completely finished her. All I need to do is iron on the pleats and iron the sleeves, and I think she's ready for DodgeCon. Yay! DodgeCon! Okay, so now that I know what needs done, I'm going to go through a few little bits of how I made it. I do have a video that will jump in and out if I can edit it properly. Here's going. That shows you me actually wearing the costume and the wig and everything, and showing you how it looks at the moment. I wanted to go through a few little bits that you might want to use for a costume. Doesn't have to be a Yuna, it could be anything, but it's a little tricks I learnt from another Yuna cosplayer. I will actually put her YouTube link in the description so you can actually see her awesome Yuna cosplay that I wish mine looked half as good. Let's go through a few things that I wanted to show everybody. As you can hear, it's not Santa, I'm afraid. The bells signify Betsy. Betsy is my enchanted rod. I name quite a lot of things Betsy. My Xbox is called Betsy at the moment because I love the name. I chose the enchanted rod instead of the usual default rod. I have no idea what the default rod's called. Can you see it? Well, you see plenty of pictures of it, and I don't like it. So I decided to do a rod. I prefer the ball staffs. I don't know why. I just think they look better. I think every summoner should have a ball staff because it's kind of summony and stuff. And yeah, I know. Anyway, this little lovely piece started off basically life as a drab pole for a mop. It's not a great life for a poor metal pole, but this is how poor Betsy started her life. Covered in clay, lots and lots of air dry clay, and left her to dry. It takes 3 days, up to 3 days. It depends where you leave her. It depends where you leave the clay to actually thoroughly dry. So the whole pole got a coating. This is a polystyrene ball. I cut out a hole and glued her on. Reinforced her using petals that were made, well, these are supposed to be leaves, I reckon. Petals or leaf shapes that were just craft foam. Glued them on and actually clayed over them. These bits are clay. The 3D indent was my favourite lovely new thing. Not really, I don't like 3D paint after this, but it works for props better than it does actually on fabric sometimes. So that was blue originally. So once I made everything up, I started painting. I decided to go for green and blue. It's a kind of bluey green colour. I'm not sure if that is the exact colour. I tried to do it as close to the references as possible, but it's not always 100%. So it's all been hand carved. Every single bit of this has been made. The bells, they're really loud. These were just tied on to some elasticated string that was actually tied round and covered in clay again, so they're secure. I do warn you, if I do hit you with this, I'm sorry, it is rather solid, as with most of my props are dangerous. The rod is actually cut to my size. Luckily, I'm that much of a short arse, it actually fits in my suitcase. So I won't have to carry this on the bus or the tubes when I'm taking it to Expo, and I won't have to carry it on the bus when I'm taking it to DodgeCon. At the bottom it's more clay and craft foam. It's been varnished and I love her to bits. I usually don't bother with props as much with my costumes, but I had to do this and I really, really love it. Alright, I'm going to put her away now. Bye, Betsy. The next section I want to go over is the very, very simple task of the sleeves. I am going to do a little tutorial on the gradient dye, but you've probably seen 1001 gradient dye tutorials. My sleeves, obviously they've got the pinks to the strong pink, light pink, and I went for white rather than ivory. I don't know if it works, but hey. The purple ribbon has been secured. I made channels for it to go through out of white bias, and there's a little bead on it. My tip of the day, number one, is for attaching the sleeves. I've seen a lot of Yuna cosplayers just tie it on using the ribbon, and it falls down their arm and they're constantly fiddling with it. I've also seen and heard others that put elastic and sew it into it and put it onto their arms like that. I don't have much luck with elastic and I don't like it around my arms. So what I'm doing is using good old faithful boob tape. Boob tape is double-sided sticky tape for your skin, and it's specially formulated to not come off, I believe, when you're all sweaty and dancing. So I'm going to stick my arm, stick it onto my arm, place this on top of it, and then get somebody to tie the bow so it looks like the bow's holding on, but really I'm stuck onto my arm, and God help me and anybody who's around me when I have to peel it off. I think I may have to get somebody to take it off for me because I'm going to cry because it hurts. The next part I want to go across is my actual obi band and top. What I had to do with my top is I had to reinforce her because I do have quite a large chest, which I hate sometimes. It wouldn't just be held in with the normal white top. So what I did is I reinforced her. You pop her across your head, you situate her into the middle, and this bit of Velcro right here goes onto the back of this. All you do is you attach it like so onto the obi band, and that stops it flying out. Well, I haven't attached it. There it goes. Make sure it's in the centre. Voila. Now what I did is I sewed on these flappy bits. I sewed on the flappy bits onto the bottom, so it looks as if I have crisscrossed it, but I've actually secured it so I don't end up hurting myself being choked with it or fiddling about with it and using more boob tape. Probably will boob tape myself into it just to be on the safe side. So that's the top, nice and easy. The obi band is quite simple. These Velcro straps here are for the hibiscus. The hibiscus is the scratchy sides on the back of that. You just Velcro that. I've still not finished painting these, but you've got the tassels and the beads. The metal pole, this is metal. It actually came from an umbrella, a golfing umbrella. I couldn't find dangling the way I wanted it, so that's how it goes. So this is amazing. You've got all the 3D paint. How I attach it onto myself is there's a separate zip here. One of the separator zips. So what I do is when I turn it round, to put it on, you put it on here, and then you take your bow. Now it's got a section here that you just, if it wants to work, you slip it on, zip it up, and pop the pop stud on to stop it from moving. If it wants to sit. Come on, you. Ta-da! And then you just, I unpopped it there again. And then you just fiddle it back in, and that covers your zip. So yeah, nice and simple. And to take it off, it's just a simple matter, shoving your bow to the side and taking the zip off. That's another tip and trick that I learned off the other Yuna Cosplayer on YouTube, which I thank her very, very much for. Yeah, so next we come to my skirt. My skirt has an elasticated waistband, and it's going to have pop studs at the side. At the moment I'm just using pins. Right, it does have fully lined, it's been a pain, and the split goes all the way up, which I'm going to have to sew because I don't want to show off all my leg. That's my design. It's all been hand painted and swirled around and mucked about. When it's folded, the design doesn't carry on like it's supposed to, because I had an accident. When I originally started painting, the pleats, which are evil by the way, were a lot thicker than they are now. So obviously the design is meant for a wider set pleat. So when I iron it down, it's going to look a little different, but hopefully you'll forgive me for that. If not, there's not much more I can do. It's painted now. Ta-da! The jewellery, we'll start off with the earrings. She has 3 earrings, 2 small ones and 1 large beaded one with a tassel. I handmade all the beads from Vimo and added the tassel, which was just embroidery thread that I had left over. It's all separate beads and they've all been threaded through with jewellery wire to hold them all together. It's the same with the 2 smaller ones that are just made out of random seed beads that I had lying around. So they were just threaded together, and they're all attached onto clip-in clasp earrings, so if they did get caught on anything, especially the long one with a tassel, they'll just come off my ear and they won't rip half my ear out with them, which is a good thing. I found out today as well, after using my reference, this one, that her earrings are on the right hand side, not the left hand side like I've been doing. Because I made her bracelet as well out of just random round silver beads on an elastic cord, and I was wearing it all on the left hand side, not realising that all the references that I have here show it on the right, so I'm going to have to train my right ear to deal with them, but that's all sorted. The wig is currently styled for her 10 version, but as it's a little bit shorter, I cut it for her gunner version for 10.2, which I'll also be doing at xHiyokoChanx. So it's a little bit shorter. I'm going to use it for DodgeCon because I don't think my wig that I've ordered is going to arrive in time. It was cut from my very first wig that I bought, and it used to be an Aerith wig. So it's a little bit lighter and a little bit shorter than it should be for Yuna's 10 style. But I think it works well, so please forgive me for the little indiscrepancies of my artistic license. I hate not doing Amano versions, because with Amano versions I can change my mind, change the design, throw sequins at it, throw beads at it, and make it as fanciful and lovely as possible. Whereas the CG reference, if I'm going with one of them, I end up taking a rage fit. I took a rage fit many a time with this. This is the third attempt of the skirt and second attempt to the bow that I've done, and it has been thrown about the house and put away in a box and not touched, which is why it's taken a little bit longer than normal for me to get it finished. I have made a few mistakes with it, and the colours are a little bit different in certain places, but I can't help it. I either go 100% perfectionist, that would take me a good year and a half to get it done the way I wanted, or I go with what I feel is going to be good for me and comfortable, and at the end of it make me happy. Because at the end of it, you cosplay as a hobby and you cosplay to make yourself happy, not others. So I hope you can forgive the little colour changes and design changes that I've done, and I hope she looks good. If somebody was to ask if I was proud of this costume, I would say no, because she's not done exactly the way she should be. She's done a little bit rushed, but it can't be helped. I do plan to actually go back and change her for when I update it and want to wear it again after this year. The reason why I chose Yuna, I wanted to do at least one female character from each game. Yuna was my first choice for 10. I did want to do Lulu, but I'm too scared to tackle those belts just yet. I don't think I look good in the costume, but that's just my personal opinion. I hope that you like her. I hope that I do her some justice, but I still don't think that it's a definite good costume for me. But we'll see.